What's up everybody, Shawnee Sham Anime here. In today's video we're going to be talking about One Piece chapter 993, The Dreams of Wano. One Piece chapter 993 was a good one. It obviously wasn't as good as last week, like we can't just have those banger chapters every single week, but this was a good segue chapter. I feel like it sets us up for the next couple chapters, but also slows us down from what we witnessed the chapter before. So when I'm going to talk about this chapter, I'm going to talk about it in three separate parts. I'm going to talk about the land of Wano. I'm going to talk about what's going on Onigashima with Luffy and the Straw Hats, and then I'm going to talk about the Akazaya samurai fighting with Kaido up top. So I'm really excited to talk about this chapter. As you know, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment your thoughts, how you felt about this chapter. I really want to know. I want to get that interaction and see what you guys thought of this chapter. As I stated earlier, the chapter starts off in actual Wano, and we see the people of Wano celebrating, which is kind of different because we haven't seen them celebrate or put this or show this effort and this happiness yet. And I guess it's kind of like foreshadowing what's to come, because they state in this part that like they can do this because Orochi's not here. There's no executions going on, nobody's dying, everybody's free to eat their own food, drink their own water, things that we haven't seen. And it's kind of wild that, like, I know we talk about how bad Wano is and the state of the country is that bad and that poor because of Orochi and because of Kaido and what they've done to it, but we haven't really got the people's view, the normal people's view. Obviously we've seen the people of Curry and how they're very poor, but we haven't seen how Orochi's influence over the country affects everybody. And we kind of see that right now. We see that they feel very relaxed. They feel very comfortable when Orochi and Kaido aren't there and they don't have to worry about them. And that's what we want for these people anyways. Like, obviously we're going to get there. It's going to be a happy ending. We're going to see that, but it's good to get that little glimpse right now. It's like we see the light at the end of the tunnel. They do, at least. The people of Wano definitely do. And I just want to talk about what they said and how they mention the Akazaya samurai and the Kozuki clan, and that they're very confident in it. And even though they're confident in this belief of Oden's like this dream-like character. He's this bigger than life character that they feel that they can believe in because of what we've seen in the past. He is this bigger than life character. And I just want to talk about him for a little bit. Oden is a character who has the influence on the story that we haven't really seen before. When we look at characters that aren't Straw Hats, we kind of have to look at them in the scape of their influence on the world and their influence on the arc that they're taking place in. And Oden's influence on Wano, and I guess you could say the world too, is so much bigger than we really realized. Obviously when we were going through his flashback and we were like, this is kind of a long flashback, this is, it's taking up a lot of time, but it turns out to be worth it, because we see not only his impact on the people of Wano and their belief in him and their belief in the Kozuki clan and how they feel like he can bring about change. He's that big. He's a dream-like character. He can bring about change for them and change this crappy life that they're living. I just want to say that he also has this effect on the other people. He has this effect on Yamato, he has this effect on Momonosuke, and he especially has this effect on Kaido, which I'm going to talk about later on. But we saw later in the chapter that Kaido kind of remembers him, and he's made a big difference. And Kozuki Oden is more than just a person now. He's this godlike figure, this I guess you could say Herculean person to the people of Wano, and now not just to the people of Wano, to the people of the world too. When we think about his impact, it's not just on the country of Wano. He helped the Pirate King find the One Piece. Like, this is a character who's a very big deal, and I think we should start treating him like that. We should start putting that emphasis on Kazuki Oden, as he is literally one of the biggest characters that we've seen in the show, and well deserving, because I feel like everything that we've seen from him and everything that he's been involved in has been so positive and so influential. So I just want to say that. I want to say that his influence on the people of Wano gives them hope, as he should, because he is this great character. As we go back to Onigashima, we get the reveal of King's bullets and how they turn people into these ice age Onis. And I was really not expecting this. I was really surprised like where this came from. I guess it doesn't have to mean anything in the story, but like it just kind of, I feel like it kind of like came out of nowhere. I wasn't really expecting it. I don't really think anyone was. But I mean, I guess it adds this element of, oh, we can turn your allies into villains, into enemies, and like it builds up our forces while it weakens yours. And I guess that's kind of what Queen's about. Queen's like about like putting people against each other and being all negative. But then we also see we get a good couple panels of Sanji and Luffy, and I love seeing the Straw Hats together and working together, because we see the different dynamics in the Straw Hats. We see how Sanji reacts to Luffy and how Luffy reacts to Sanji. Like, they're very close crewmates. These are people who have been together for nearly 1,000 chapters. Like, we're getting on that level. And they show that. They have that relationship where they can push and pull. And then we see the difference, like, between Jinbei, who just joined the crew, and Jinbei doesn't want to step on anybody's toes. Like, when Luffy's going through these now what would be these 4 or 5 different levels to get to the top, to get to Kaido, which I like it. I like how we have to like go this different way, and we have to go up this thing and fight different people, maybe whatever it may be. But I feel like it's just kind of dragging out. I think what Oda's trying to do is he's trying to give us this climactic uphill to where we reach chapter 1000 and there's like a big reveal. Or maybe I could be wrong. It could not be relevant at all. But I just feel like it's one of those things that Oda is like kind of putting in to like draw out the chapter a little bit, or draw out the fights or whatever it may be. But yeah, so we're going to be seeing a lot of fodder characters, a lot of characters who we're just going to like run through, beat up. And one of these characters is actually I believe his name's like Briscoe or something like that, and he's got this like monkey on his hands. And a big thing that we've seen in this chapter is we've seen that obviously we saw Kazuki Oden with his hand, we saw Luffy, how he looked like the guardian deity, and I think we're leading up to a new form, maybe a new Gear 5, maybe Luffy gets another Gear 4 form, but I think we're getting to the point where like all these things are kind of putting, like, Luffy's getting these different ideas and they're coming together for him, where he could possibly bring out a new form, or we'll see something like that. I feel like Oda's putting these little hints in, not for like no reason. I think they're actually going to be important to the story. So I'm excited for that. Like I said, I liked how Jinbei was a little more, he wasn't wanting to step on the Straw Hat's toes, whereas Luffy and Sanji were just like going back and forth. That's really good. Like, it shows their character and it shows their relationship. Like, Jinbei still respects Sanji, and he knows that like Sanji's been here before. So he knows that Sanji is more so someone that he has to show his respects to and kind of build up from there. So he doesn't want to step on anybody's toes. We also see some more of Boa Huang, who is like the little cat eye. And I think at one point the Straw Hats are gonna have to take her out to stop the relay of information. And we see her during an interaction with Yamato, Momonosuke, and Shinobu. And they actually King is making a call out to everyone to tell them that they have to get after Momonosuke. Like, the Akazaya samurai right now are the biggest focus for the Beast Pirates. And they want to take care of them first, as this is a rebellion. This is a raid. They want to stop the samurai and the people of Wano before they take care of the pirates, which I feel like might come back to bite them in the ass. I feel like they're not worrying about the stronger force. They're worrying about the numbers, instead. Like, they want to get rid of this 5,400 amount of people, whereas they should be taking care of the pirates first and foremost. And we also get a good moment from Shinobu, Momonosuke, and Yamato, where Sasaki and his like armored beast pirates pull up. And I feel like this is a little bit of foreshadowing. Like, I think we could get like a form from Sasaki. Maybe he's like a Triceratops or like the armored thing with the club. I'd like to see that from him, another, ancient Zoan type. But Yamato does a good job of her actions, showing off what she wants to do and how she wants to prove herself to Momonosuke and Shinobu. Like, she's out there to protect them. She's out there for the Kozuki clan. And she makes this very clear by the way she goes after Sasaki and fights them. And I think that'll be a good moment of learning for Momonosuke. I think they can build a relationship through this, and I hope they do, honestly. I want to see more of Yamato and Momonosuke and how they bounce back and forth with the whole Kozuki Oden stuff. And Momonosuke's like, how should I act as the Shogun of Wano? And it's a little bit of a weird dynamic going on between Momonosuke and Yamato, because Yamato is supposed to be the Shogun, according to Kaido, but Momonosuke is the real heir to the throne. He's supposed to be the Shogun of Wano. So I guess like it's kind of, they might build this back and forth relationship where, all right, this is how a Shogun's supposed to act, and I can trust this person because, yes, they're trying to be my father, but they're acting as a Shogun should, and I can learn from this person. So I think it'll be cool to see. And then we go up top to the Skull Dome, and we see the Akazaya Samurai, and they are ready. They want to cut off Kaido's head. They think they've won the fight. They're like, we've got to take him down right now. And Kaido starts rising up again. And I loved how Oda did this in these panels. He shows Kaido kind of like bringing himself back to life. Like he's coming back up rather than just like standing up. He's like, we can see a lot of him upside down and a lot of him like coming forward. And he says that I saw the spirit of Kozuki Oden in you guys. Like, you guys are a little worthy, but you're not Kozuki Oden. You didn't even pierce the scar. So I think his Oden and Kaido's dynamic has a little bit more weight to it. I think Oden kind of meant more to Kaido than we might have thought. I thought this from the beginning. I thought Oden had like a really big impact on Kaido, and he really made him change his view of the world. And I think he shows his utmost respect for Oden. And the way that he portrays this is he believes that no one should like put themselves up there with him. I think he feels it's kind of disrespectful to Oden to do this, to put yourself in the name of Oden but not be him and not be as strong as him or as righteous as him. So I like that dynamic. I kind of enjoyed these panels with Kaido and how he talks about Oden and how he speaks to the Akazaya Samurai. And then we get this huge reveal at the end of the chapter. Kaido brings out another one of his like amazing attacks. And what's really cool is I think we're seeing a little bit of Kaido in like weather and elements and stuff like that. We saw him use fire. We saw him use lightning. Now we're seeing him use wind. So maybe there's a little bit of that going on. But yeah, he unleashes this crazy like wind scythe attack. And he straight up cuts off Kiku's arm. And like you could see Kiku like trying to defend with her sword, but like obviously it wasn't enough. And I think this is going to be like a reoccurring thing in the next couple chapters where we actually see the Akazaya Samurai go down. I think last week was kind of like a fluke. Like they did their damage. They did all that they're going to do. And now I think it's just going to be Kaido on the offensive taking them down. And I think we're going to get to the top where we see Luffy and he's going to see the devastation that is the Akazaya Samurai and how they're pretty much done with. And I might even think that something's going to happen with Kinemon. Maybe Kinemon's going to be the last one to survive. And obviously he has the closest relationship with Luffy. So I think like maybe Luffy sees him die or something like that. Maybe Momonosuke sees him die. Or maybe just sees them all get messed up. But I definitely believe that the Akazaya Samurai are not going to be lasting pretty long. I don't think they'll even last till chapter 1000. On the battlefield. I don't think they're all going to die. But I think a good amount of them may die. But that's about it for chapter 993. This was it had its ups and downs, a lot of different elements to this chapter. I kind of enjoy the chapters where Oda just focuses on one thing a little bit more. But obviously there's a lot of background setup, and I think he's doing that to kind of build up Oden's character, which is very important. It's very good. I think he wants to show the parallels between Luffy and Oden. So I'm excited to see where this chapter goes. You know, we only have 7 chapters until chapter 1000. So we're getting to a milestone, and this is really exciting. Like, it's about to be endgame One Piece. So as you know, subscribe to this channel, like it, comment your thoughts. If you really enjoyed this chapter, you know, let me know. Another chapter in 7 days. Let's get to it.